Probably should have brushed my beard. But anyway, we're live. Welcome to the Fermented World live, where I can't edit anything out, so don't say fuck or bugger. No, sorry. I do try not to swear on here. But this is pretty good news, really. Just reached 500 subscribers. So I am pouring myself a beer, and I'm going to raise a glass to all of you guys who've been following along for the last 4 years, and to the ones that have only just arrived. May your stay be plentiful. Fermented World Army, that is what it is, brother. And one day we may be unstoppable. So this is actually the beer that I was trying to clone, but we'll get to that in a minute. I did do a live, and I'm going to be opening the good stuff, only just a 1 dram, because it's expensive stuff. It's by a distillery called Penderyn. Well, that's a nice dram, that. There's probably a double. Shh, don't tell anyone. But yeah, so I did a live earlier on, and I'm not quite sure that it worked. Rife did join, and he said nothing was being broadcasted, but it was telling me that it was still recording. So I just carried on anyway, and hopefully it gets uploaded. And the bottling of the Newcastle Brown style ale, brown ale that I did, I tasted it, and although it was nice, it wasn't amazing. Well, it wasn't Nuki Brown. The dog's look at him. 500 subscribers, dude. Just looking at me like, what? You want to play? But yeah, it tasted okay. Wasn't amazing. Didn't taste exactly how I wanted it to taste. I'm not playing, dude. I'm not playing at the moment. We'll play after. I think with a bit of carbonation and maybe 3 or 4 weeks to mature, hopefully it'll taste even better. Now, off the bat, it tasted good. It tasted like a good brown ale, but it didn't have the kind of vibe that this beer has. Now, my sister bought me this because we were talking about it the other day. I told her that I was trying to clone it. It's quite a simple maltiness, but there's a sweetness to it as well. If anyone's from the UK, you must have seen this beer before. It's absolutely brilliant. And for those that have just tuned in, I tried to brew it myself. Hello, Moni. Tried to brew it myself. Not to much avail. The video's still uploading for it. I did it live, bottled it live, tasted it. It was okay. We put some more sugar in to carbonate. It was okay, but it wasn't Newcastle Brown. So back to the drawing board. I've got a couple more ideas of what I could do. I think it needs a bit more sweetness and possibly more roasted malt. You have no likes. I'm not bothered about that, dude. It really doesn't faze me. I shall continue to do what I do anyway, which is make my own homebrew. Currently just sipping away at this Penderyn. Now, somebody did tell me how to pronounce this before, but I can't remember for the life of me. Okay, Captain, nice one, much appreciated. We're just celebrating the 500 mark. It's been 4 years of me just chatting shit on videos and uploading recipes, sharing them for free. giving people an insight on how easy it is to actually brew your own beverages. It's not difficult. It's literally just throw it all in a bucket. With mead, it's throw it in a bucket, add some yeast. Beer, little bit different, because if you're doing it from the grain, you have to put it through a mash process for an hour or longer. You can do mashes for longer, and then you've got hop additions that you can add at different times for different styles of beer. I'm sorry, Florina, I don't understand what you've asked or said, but hello anyway. Yeah, so it's 500. So cheers to you guys. And I'll give you the cheers on the beers as well. Yep. I just want to say thank you to everybody for joining me on this journey. I mean, where it's going to lead me, I'm not quite sure. I got it in my head that I was going to do some sort of like maybe a college course to try and understand the chemistry part of it a bit more. I mean, I brew good beer, but I don't understand the water treatment. I'm kind of just winging it. I spoke to a head brewer at a brewery called Shiny Brewery in the UK. And it was him that he was like, if you're doing this style of beer, use this much. If you're doing a juicy beer, use this much. My wife got me one of these beer kits and it didn't turn out well, and I have never tried again. Do you know what, dude? I started with the beer kits. Do you mean the liquid malt extracts? It's got like liquid in a pouch or a tin. Sometimes they're in a tin. I started off with them, and it got to the point where I was getting bored with them. So I started adding my own hops, my own fruits and things like that. This is way before I'd even started the channel, I believe. I mean, this is where I was rocking a goatee. I was probably rocking a goatee beard. Looking back, I think I just look like a dick. I mean, I probably don't look much different now, but you know, yeah. So yeah, I mean, do try again. It's easy to mess them up. Now, all I'm gonna say, dude, is sanitize, and sanitize. You need a good sanitizer from like a local homebrew store. I use one called VPD. Let me go get it, and then you can see which one it is. Clinkety clank, clinkety clank. VWP. That's the one I use. VWP. Now this is obviously an extremely big amount of it, but at the same time, I find that to be really, really good cross sanitizing absolutely everything. This was a big silver bag thing that you added water to and left to ferment. Everything was ready to go. Oh, okay. So you fermented it in the bag. Are you sure you didn't need a bucket for it? Yeah, if you leave it too long, it can go bad. Yeah. Okay. How on earth did you translate that so quickly? Nope, it came in a big bag and the tape was already on the bag. Wow, that's really weird, dude. I've never heard of that. At the top, it had a cap. Google Translate. Oh, okay. You've obviously got two devices then. Maybe a PC and a phone handy. I can't do anything to Google anything at the moment because obviously I'm watching this. But yeah, I definitely recommend having another go. I use all grain now, so I actually crush the grains and then do the version that it's a little bit more involved. It takes a little bit more equipment, but I recommend trying those kits again. Do it in a fermenting bucket though. So go onto eBay, type in fermenting bucket, and there's all number of them. Now, the ones that I would recommend is, I can't remember the guy's name, but he sells ones that looks like it's got Polish writing on. They're the best ones. Homeless Wizard. Oh, I love it, man. Inspired by insomnia. Dude, that is funny as floosh, man. I do actually. I use something called Beard, which is like a Scottish company. I use their brush, their shampoo, and their beard oil. But been in the shower, so washed it all off and haven't reapplied because I'll be going to bed. But yeah, that's funny, mate. A homeless wizard. Some dude came on here, man. It was hilarious. He said, now this guy looks like he wakes up, eats 4 shrooms, downs a load of edibles, and then he said something else as well. And I was just like, mate, that is funny. And someone else was defending me, saying, "Oh, don't worry, but don't listen to the haters." And I'm like, mate, I thrive off it. Absolutely thrive off it. It's like the kind of banter me and my mate have. You would think that we dislike each other a lot because we are just genuinely horrible on the desktop. Yeah, okay, so that's why you can Google things at the same time, dude. Yeah, I definitely recommend having another go, because personally, I think once you've got the general idea of how to do it with a liquid malt extract, that's the like the syrup. You just add water and all that jazz. Um, I think once you've nailed them, I think you're on to a winning path. I started off with the really cheap ones, but then moved up to more premium ones. A brand called Mangrove Jacks, and they've got so many different types of beer, styles of beer. Sorry, it comes with packets of hops in there as well, so you get to dry hop them. So it gives you an idea of what dry hopping is. Um, yeah, and they're really good. The Mangrove Jacks ones, they were like the gateway for me. And I can't remember the YouTuber's name, but if you type in to YouTube "brew in a bag brewing," he will come up. And I'll try and figure out what his name is and tag him in the thing when it's uploaded. But it was he showed me how easy it was to go from brewing the liquid malt extracts to then brewing the all grain version, because I do it what we call brew in a bag, which is a massive big pan, a large bag, and you're basically making a big tea out of the grain. So I only drink at the weekend as a rule. I've got, I want to say 25 bottles of beer and approximately 7 liters of mead ready to drink. I'm only drinking now um, because I've just reached the 500 mark on the subscriptions. Yes, I have done a methylglyn. If you go onto YouTube, type in hashtag fermented world, and then type in mega methylglyn, you'll see what I did. It was crazy, dude. It was batshit crazy. It had like 5 different herbs and spices in. I was talking bay leaves, star anise or anise seed, if you want to call it that. It had flipping cloves in it. Oh, mate, it had like 5 different things in it, and it was just when you drank it, it was like medicinal. It tasted like medicine. It was so bizarre, man. For those that aren't sure what a methylglyn is a mead, which is a honey wine, which has lots of spices and herbs in, basically. Lots of things from your spice rack, herb rack. That's pretty much a methylglyn. Oh, oh, celebratory whiskey. But yes, Captain, thank you for the sub, mate. Have a look at some of my older videos. There may very well actually be some liquid malt extract. Actually, here's one for you. Here's a liquid malt extract kit for you to try. Tiny Rebel Cwtch, spelled Cwtch. They're a Welsh brewery, and Munton's Malt, which is like one of the biggest UK malt providers, they did this kit in collaboration with Tiny Rebel, and this kit put next to the exact beer. Like, I bought the beer in a can and I brewed the beer from the kit and I put them side by side. Me and a mate, we sat drinking them, and we was like, I can't actually tell which one's which. You know, if you put them in the same kind of glasses, you was like, Eventually, you did get a sort of inkling of what might have been the one that wasn't the right one, but mate, it was just so good. Tiny Rebel Cwtch. I think you do pay a pretty penny for that kit, though. It's not one of the cheap ones. I think it's about, I want to say 30 quid. Mangrove Jacks, you can pick them up for under 20 quid sometimes. Yeah, nice one, Captain. Appreciate it, dude. So, Captain, are you from the UK? Yeah, about 30 quid. Sometimes you can get it a bit cheaper. Sometimes you can get it a little bit. It is, yeah. So it's a Welsh red ale, mate. It's really good. Scotland, nice one, dude. Absolutely fandabby dozy. So you're quite close. Well, you're probably closer to Newcastle than me, aren't you? This is what I tried to brew the other day. I bottled it today on a live, but I don't know whether it actually worked. May have had some technical issues with Wi-Fi. But I tried to recreate this, which is a classic British ale. You know, it is just a great ale. Now, I drink more craft beer than anything else, but recently I've been kind of brewing more, just trying to develop a bit of every single style, try a little bit of every single style. I've got a barley wine coming, but the problem with barley wines is it takes so flipping long to mature. I was reading up on it, and one guy was like, it's going to take you about 3 months for it to mature. 3 months, like bloody hell. Normally, when mine gets bottled, from the moment it's bottled, it's a month, and then I'm scratching at the door to bloody drink it. Yeah, never actually tried Newcastle Brown. It's not as common here these days, but it's still obtainable, so I should get a bottle or two. Yeah, I mean, I like it because we used to drink it a lot when we used to go moshing at Rock City, listening to metal bands and all that kind of jazz. But yeah, it was the only thing that we knew that they couldn't water down because it had a flipping cap on it. But I tried to clone it, but yeah, it was hit and miss. Let's say that. It tastes good. It's a nice brown ale, like I said earlier on, but nah, it ain't Nuki Brown. Nuki Brown's got a little bit something else about it. I don't know whether it's the maltiness or the sweetness, but we'll see how it goes once it's finished carbonating and matured a little bit. If you're still there, Ray, what are you working on at the moment? And how is your photography channel going anyway, dude? Has it picked up a bit with me forcing everybody to join your channel? And anyone who's watching this, please go check out Ray Finkel's channel. It is called Tailgate Tintype. And he uses extremely old cameras and through some process manages to print the photograph onto a piece of tin. I don't understand it. He's there with he's like some alchemist. He's there with all these chemical bottles and stuff like that. It's really interesting stuff. So if anyone's into the photography, do go check that out. Tailgate Tintype. I'm sure that's right, isn't it, Ray? If not, tell me. I've noticed that nobody has put anything. Doing okay. Was it a Civil War reenactment? It got rained out. Oh, that's shite, dude. But you got 50 subs now. Sweet. So are you going to be doing a live soon then? You got any plans to go live? Because if you have, mate, I'll be on that. It's hard to do lives. I find it hard brewing because. So I thought to myself, oh yeah, what I want to do is I want to do a live where I just brew a whole beer. But that's not as simple as that because, pardon me, through different parts of the process, there's like 20-minute gaps, 20-minute, 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 and then after that, you just sat waiting while it boils. And I just thought I'm not going to sit there and just waffle on while people are waiting. I mean, now I'm waffling because it's just I do this sometimes, just sit and waffle on, but probably over the weekend. All right, dude. What I'll do then is I'll turn the bell on so that it lets me know. Yeah, man, that'll be well cool to see you do it live. I mean, I've watched some of your clips and that, but it just very rarely pops up on my feed, and I don't know why. I think the algorithm it doesn't even throw me homebrew though. On my homebrew channel, it doesn't throw me homebrew. It throws me some dude giving money to a homeless dude. It gives me these two women that I just can't get rid of doing this stupid dance. I have blocked channels and all sorts trying to get rid of these people, but they just keep turning up, man, doing this stupid dance. Yeah, tailgate tin type. Yeah, that's it. Got some sauerkraut fermenting and started a sourdough starter today. So yeah, that's not really something I've ever really been interested in. I did try pickling something though once. It was just red cabbage, and it had garlic, chilies, red cabbage, obviously, black peppercorns, and left it for about 2 weeks. Opened it up, tried some, and I tell you what, I was eating it on absolutely everything. Everything, it was just like a really nice garnish to put with things. I mean, I know people like do fermented where they put the things in the jars and they ferment like foods and stuff. I'm not really sure how that works. No, don't know how that works. So what's sauerkraut? Isn't that a type of bread? Isn't sauerkraut a type of bread? I know sourdough is because you can use that for like pizza bases and stuff, can't you? I'm tempted to have another whiskey, but it is a school day and I got to be up to take the lad to school, so it's probably a bad idea. No, I shall not. I shall resist. Oh, so a bit like kimchi. That's like an Asian version then, isn't it? Kimchi. I've tried that before. I've not tried sauerkraut though, but I assume it's probably the same thing. Nuki Brown just goes down so flipping well. What's this button do? Not sure what that did. Did it do anything? Oh, I'm so tired. Cut my mum's bloody hedge today. Nightmare. I got absolutely pissed on earlier on as well. It rained so bad while me and my mate were out on a walk. Even started coming through my waterproof. That's how bad it rained. It wasn't raining at the beginning and it wasn't raining at the end, but through the whole walk, it was just peeing it down. But you know, once you're wet, aren't you? As simple as that. Once you're wet. What are the other beers that I've got going? I think I've got a couple of other ones that I've got in the pipeline. I know I've mentioned I don't even know where I've put the bleeding things now. Did I move them down here? No, that's the old Kvike one. You know what? I've got so many things just all over the place. Now, you might think that my videos look a little bit okay and, you know, that he looks like he knows what he's on about, but I'm a very, very disorganized person. I am a messy person. I don't like tidying. I like mess where I know things are, but sometimes that backfires. Sriracha is fermented chili hot sauce with garlic. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've had some of that. I think I bought some of that from oh, here we go, look. That's the EPA. That's flipping years old, where's that? Oh, that's the flipping marmalade one that exploded. Just kept, well, it didn't explode, it just kept on flipping going and going and going. That's the EPA. I need to re-explore that one. So we've got the barley wine. Nice one, Captain. Take it easy, dude. Much obliged. Cheers for the sub, man. So yeah, I've got a barley wine coming on, and I've also got a Helles lager kind of thing, or it's mainly Pilsner malt. So it's going to be like a lager, but we're just going to be treating it as like a pale ale. We're not going to be using a lager yeast. We're going to be using pale ale yeast, I believe. Or did I have a lager yeast? Do you know what? I have these flipping ideas because what I do is I draw sources from different places, and I think, you know, this will go together quite well. But then I'm like, I don't even... Bow lager, apparently, for the yeast. Bohemian, Bavarian. Don't even know. That's the problem when you scribble on bits of paper, isn't it? But the barley wine might cause a bit of a stir. Nice one, dude. Take it easy. It's got 3.92 kilograms of grain. It's going to be it's going to be interesting. It's also got a hell of a lot of flipping hops in. It's going to be using Chinook Centennial Columbus. And it's actually using Nottingham yeast, which is where I'm from. So that should be pretty good. But these two are probably going to get on side by side because I need to build up a stock of beer. Because while the kids were off, I kind of drained my resources of homebrew, which is easily done, you know, having a couple here, a couple there. Right. I am nearly done. So, you lovely people, oh, bloody hell, now you're asking. Expected ABV of the barley wine. So for it to be a barley wine, it needs to be at wine level, is my understanding of how strong it needs to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mash the grain. Bloody good question, Ray. Thank you for catching me out, mate. I haven't got a bloody clue, mate. I'm not going to lie. Because I haven't brewed this before, I've just slapped it together. I have absolutely no idea what I expect it to be. So, if 2.5 kilograms of grain can give you a gravity of 60, ideally, I need the gravity to be between 70 and 80 to be able to get it to the point where it's going to be classed as a barley wine. Because otherwise, you could argue that it's just a triple IPA or a double IPA or whatever. But yeah, I am not sure, mate. I wouldn't want to speculate. It's going to have a longer mash time because of the amount of grain that's in there. Exactly. You won't know until. Really wouldn't know until you get the OG reading. No, I've got no brown sugar in my barley wine. Is it meant to have brown sugar? Should I have brown sugar in it? Am I missing a trick here? Now, an old friend of mine who's passed away now, he was an old boy. He used to brew, and they used to put brown sugar in their beers, and used to say that it used to make it stronger. But I don't think it made it stronger, but it would give it that caramel or molasses kind of flavor, wouldn't it? That's a very good question, actually. And without looking back on past brews, on how much was in it and what the gravity was, because it's going to have to be a high gravity to get over the 10 mark, because I think it needs to be over 10 to be classed as a barley wine. Yeah, good question. I like being caught out. Cheers, mate. So I am just an amateur. I am. I'm adding brown sugar to my next brown ale. Okay, so I didn't add brown sugar, but what I had something called candy sugar, which is, pardon me, it's what they use in Belgian beers when they're trying to ramp up the ABV. Because if you notice, a lot of Belgian beers that are stronger tend to be a little bit darker. Sugar or honey will be like a rocket fuel for your OG. I don't think I'd put honey in it. I could put honey in it. I could put anything in it. See, the thing is about a barley wine is we've got one over here called Gold Label. I don't know whether that's like everywhere else and stuff, but it's extremely strong. And for what it is, I don't think it's that nice. Because it's mass produced, it's not nurtured. It's just mass produced at a brewery, and there's just like tons of it made. It's not loved. It's just pumped out to the masses. But barley wine is a very low key kind of beverage. It's like not really something that loads of people will drink. I've had a couple in places. Maple syrup. Yeah, you see, what for me, I have to dial in a recipe first before messing about with it, because I think if you get the fundamentals of a recipe sorted, then you'll know what to expect when you add other stuff. See, when I'm brewing mead, I've kind of like took a step back now, and I'm just going to start doing like single flavors instead of trying to do loads of complex things. I mean, don't get me wrong, they worked. The juniper and Madagascan vanilla, that really worked, man. But I think I'm just going to try and like play it cool. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think 2 fruits in a mead, I think that's absolutely plausible. I've done some where I've thrown so many different fruits in that I've not actually known what I'm tasting, you know? It gets to the point where you've thrown so many ingredients at it, it's like, well, what can I taste? But I do have one in the pipeline that's coming soon. But the problem is, I need to take the white grape mead out of the bucket because I need the bucket for this one. Okay, sounds good, dude. I'm not sure how that's relevant to a home brewing channel, but sounds good. You keep on doing your puffy and irritated. Good lad. Top form. Okay. Marvelous. Absolutely marvelous. And on that note, I'm going. Thanks for joining me. You guys take it easy. Don't want to muddy things up. What do you mean, Ray? Go on. Muddy things up. I don't know what that means, dude. Yeah, it can be done. You can overcomplicate things. That's what I've been doing. And I think I've been doing it because obviously I want people to see what I'm doing and have a go at it. You know, think, oh, that sounds really, really good. But I think sometimes you can overdo it. There was one that had the one that I'm going to do is going to have loads of ingredients, but I'm only doing this because I want to try and recreate the flavor of this beer in a mead. It had, let me try and remember, coconut, lychee, lemongrass, peaches. Might have been them. Might have been something else in there as well. But this beer was absolutely phenomenal. Like next level. Never tasted anything like it. Now it was a sour beer um, by a brewery called Vault City Brewery up in Scotland. They're flipping amazing. They're next level. I've not known anyone do sours like them, apart from the wild fermentation sours. They're like off the charts, but they take years in the making. I haven't got time for that. Yeah, sometimes it is easy to throw too many things in. I think sometimes you just got to strip it back to basics, start again. You know, just go with the basic stuff, basic ingredients, and just kind of go from there. It is too easy to think, oh, I'll throw some of this in, and I can put some of that in, and I can do some of this. You see, there's many like so. For example, with the is it capsicumel, the chili mead. I've not actually done just a straight chili mead because I always throw something else in because my mind tells me that more is better, but sometimes it's not. You know, sometimes you need that thing where it's just one thing, where it's just simple. you know. It's kind of like, you know, if you're going to ever brew your first beer from grain, I recommend doing something called a smash, which is a single malt, single hops. So you use one malt, probably a pale malt. You select one hops, and then you put it in increments at certain intervals of the boil, which gives you all these different flavors and stuff like that. And you know, it's a really simple way to get into brewing. I did the first one I ever did was a kit that was already like pre-prepared. The grain was already pre-prepared. It was already milled. All I had to do was mash it and throw it into a flipping big bag, heat it, and you know, drain it out, and then add the hops and stuff like that later on. And it was quite a good transition from the liquid malt extract, which I think you can get stuck doing that, and you could think, yeah, this is okay, and it is okay, but do that at first to then work towards getting, you know, an all grain mash going, I think. But anywho, I have waffled on plenty enough. I was only supposed to be on for about 20 minutes, but thank you very much to all subscribers. You're absolutely fantastic. I've got a couple of things in the pipeline. I don't want to say too much. I mean, obviously, you know about the beers that I've got. You know about the mead that I'm going to be doing. I am currently maybe trying to create my own biofuel. Now, this sounds like I'm a mad scientist. I'm not. Basically, on the other channel that I've got called Walk Cup Walk, I use a fuel to cook the food with. So I'm trying. It's basically an alcohol. It's an alcohol fuel. I'm trying to then ferment something out. Then I'm going to freeze distill it. Now, I do not condone this. I do not say to anybody, this is safe. This is not going to be drunk at all. I'm not going to be drinking this at all. I'm not even going to taste it. I'm going to take a hydrometer reading and it's going to go back in the jar because I don't know what's going to go on. And I'm not willing to risk going blind for the sake of, you know, freeze distilling. I don't even know if I'm allowed to do it. So it's one of those, but it's a way of creating a fuel, basically creating a fuel that's, you know, I'm going to be able to cook with. It might work, it might not, but we'll see. And I'm not going to upload that video in 2 sections. That one's just going to be all in one if it works, because there's no point sharing it if it doesn't work. Because in the grand scheme of things, people are going to, if they're going to want to watch it, they're going to want to watch the whole thing and get the end result, you know, like you do with the beer. Even though this isn't my beer. And on that note, I'm off, Skiz. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been absolutely fantastic. Thanks again. 500 subscribers. You guys are amazing. Take it easy. Ray, bloody love you, dude. See you later, man. I'll see you on that live at the weekend. Unless it's Saturday. If you do it on Saturday, I'm going to be out recording for the other channel, dude. But I might jump on. I might just stop recording and jump on to say what's up. Latest, buddy. You take it easy. Everybody else, take it easy. I'm out.